There are people who think they're getting sicker when in fact their bodies are fighting to save them. 5 small mistakes on the healing journey can determine whether you rise again or collapse. Have you unknowingly fallen into any of them? I am Ethan Marshall, a 60-year-old physician in the United States, and I've devoted more than 3 decades of my life to natural health and human recovery. Today, I want to start with a truth that may shock you. Most people who begin the mucusless healing journey fail not because the method doesn't work, but because they don't understand what is actually happening inside their bodies. If you care about your health and want to restore your vitality, I invite you to subscribe, leave a like, and share this video. Your support helps me continue creating honest, valuable content for you. When it comes to healing, I've seen a pattern repeat itself across so many of my patients. They come to me with determined faces. Some want to cleanse their bodies after years of exhaustion. Some just left a hospital carrying a diagnosis that scared them. And some simply want a lighter, healthier life. Despite their different reasons, they all begin this journey with great enthusiasm. They believe it is the doorway to transformation. They believe they will soon feel the strength and clarity their bodies are capable of. Yet there is one thing they never prepare for: the reality that the body doesn't change according to the mind's expectations, but according to its own rhythm. Throughout my work, I've realized that people's disappointment rarely comes from what they did wrong, but from expecting too much too quickly. They assume that eating cleaner will instantly make them feel lighter. But the body is a system that has accumulated layers of waste, excess, tension, and misguided habits over decades. Simply stepping into a cleansing process becomes a strong internal shift, pushing the digestive system, the nervous system, and the immune system to adapt at the same time. It's like opening a room that has been sealed for too long. Dust will rise everywhere, even though that is normal and necessary. I recall someone once saying, "I began with so much hope, but after just a few days my body reacted so intensely I thought I was getting worse." I don't blame them. Without proper explanation, such reactions can be frightening. Even those who have read about the process are often surprised. When the body transitions to lighter foods, deep layers of stagnation awaken. The shift makes them feel sensations that had been masked for years by heavy eating and a stressful lifestyle. Our modern environment complicates this further. We consume refined starches, excess sugars, and congestive foods. We sleep poorly, take on too much stress, and move too little. All of this pushes the body into the healing journey unprepared, making early disturbances nearly unavoidable. What we need is not self-doubt or blame, but understanding that this upheaval is the body's way of waking up. Before moving on, let me ask you something. When you start changing your lifestyle, how do you usually respond? A. I get discouraged when my body reacts uncomfortably. B. I understand it's part of the process and continue moving forward. Comment A or B so I know where you are on this journey. As we enter the second part of this journey, the most important aspect to examine is the moving too fast effect. A mistake so common it almost becomes a rule among newcomers to the mucusless diet. The abrupt shift to eating only fruit is often seen as a powerful cleansing choice, yet its true nature is rarely understood. After years of consuming refined starches, processed sugars, and heavy foods, the human body cannot be pushed into an ultralight state by sheer willpower. Tissues, fluids, and the enteric nervous system follow inertia built over decades. Introducing a large amount of fruit, foods with strong cleansing properties, forces the body into a hypermobilized state, causing detoxification to occur more intensely than the body can manage. What seems like a simple change can trigger dramatic reactions, because fruit is not only nourishment, but a catalyst that loosens and pulls out residues the body is not prepared to release. In clinical practice, many cases reflect this lack of preparation. Some people experience dizziness, exhaustion, diarrhea, or sharp drops in energy after just 1 or 2 days of eating only fruit. These reactions are not caused by fruit being harmful, but by the body being pushed into forced detoxification. Every tissue and organ has its own tolerance, and a sudden shift is like demanding a slow-moving machine to accelerate to full speed instantly. Outwardly, it may resemble collapse, but internally, it is an overwhelmed detoxification system. This is why dramatic reactions appear most often in individuals with heavy mucus buildup or long-stored toxins. A weakened digestive system forced into intense cleansing can create experiences the person did not anticipate. Classic natural health texts agree that transitions must be gradual. A transitional diet not only helps the body adapt physiologically, but also stabilizes the digestive nervous system, teaching the intestines to function efficiently after years of congestion. A middle phase, steamed vegetables, soft fruits, gradually increasing fruit intake, is not a compromise but the foundation for a sustainable process. When given time, detoxification becomes stable, gentle, and restorative rather than overwhelming. The goal is not to reach a perfect diet as fast as possible, but to establish a strong foundation for digestive and eliminative systems. A properly paced transition prevents unnecessary reactions and allows the body to enter true self-healing, a process of cleansing and regeneration aligned with each person's biological capacity. When discussing healing crises, we must recognize that they are not abnormalities but unavoidable phases in the body's effort to restore biological order. As long-stored waste begins separating from tissues and entering the bloodstream, the body must handle a temporarily increased toxic load, generating simultaneous physiological responses. Symptoms such as headaches, fatigue, nausea, sleep disturbances, and digestive changes do not indicate deterioration, but reflect heightened activity in the liver, kidneys, lymphatic system, and nervous system. These organs, previously shielded by heavy eating habits, now work vigorously to eliminate the released waste. This phase resembles stirring a stagnant pool. Sediment rises, clouding the water, yet the cloudiness shows that cleansing is underway. Thus, discomfort is not harm, but confirmation that the body is performing its task. What confuses people is the intensity and suddenness of these reactions, especially for those with weakened health or heavy mucus accumulation. When toxins enter the bloodstream for processing, the enteric nervous system, second only to the brain in neural density, is strongly stimulated. This causes not only physical discomfort, but emotional and mental fluctuations. Internal stress during this functional reawakening leads many to misinterpret healing responses as signs of decline, especially without proper understanding. Physiologically, a healing crisis is a crossroads between two states: the old body burdened with accumulation and the emerging body shifting into deeper cleansing. The conflict between these states produces temporary turbulence. The key is recognizing that discomfort is not danger, but evidence of accelerated rebalancing. Organs are not failing, they are increasing activity. The lymphatic system is not overloaded, it is expanding its processing range. The nervous system is not weakening, it is learning to respond to a shifting internal environment. The more accumulation present, the stronger the reactions. Slowing down, adjusting food intake, or temporarily easing the cleansing intensity is not regression, but a strategic way to maintain stability during adaptation. Viewed this way, healing crises are not obstacles, but gateways to deeper restoration, where balance is reestablished and regeneration becomes possible. In natural healing, the colon is the central organ most people neglect because it works quietly until it reaches its limit. Beyond storing digestive waste, the colon directly influences critical internal functions, from enteric nervous system activity to immune regulation. When the colon is not properly cleared, a chain of physiological reactions reverberates through the entire body. Long-stored waste, especially mucus and semi-decomposed material, accumulates in the folds of the intestinal wall, impairing water absorption, electrolyte balance, and waste transport. This stagnation fosters anaerobic bacterial activity, generating toxic compounds easily reabsorbed into the bloodstream. Autointoxication weakens digestion and affects the liver, kidneys, and even the central nervous system, as these toxins circulate instead of being eliminated. Once cleansing begins through lighter eating, toxins from tissues and organs migrate to the colon for elimination. If the colon remains congested, these toxins cannot exit and instead recirculate throughout the body. This explains why many people early in their healing journey feel heavy-headed, fatigued, achy, or unable to sleep well. These symptoms do not reflect worsening health, but a primary eliminative organ that is not ready for increased workload. Trapped toxins irritate the enteric nervous system, producing bloating, spasms, and internal restlessness that confuse those unaware of these mechanisms. Such reactions signal that detoxification flow is obstructed and cannot progress without addressing colon congestion. Foundational texts emphasize that colon cleansing is not optional but essential for recovery. When the colon is free of residue, enteric nervous activity becomes more regulated, and communication along the gut-brain axis stabilizes. A clear intestinal lining also improves hydration, electrolyte regulation, and waste transport, significantly reducing the risk of toxin reabsorption. Maintaining colon clarity strengthens immune function, as a large portion of immune cells reside in the intestinal mucosa and depend on a healthy environment. Ancient healing traditions similarly regard internal cleansing as the necessary first step before any form of regeneration. No sustainable healing can occur while the internal environment remains obstructed. Understanding and supporting colon function is therefore fundamental to ensuring that the body's natural healing processes unfold smoothly, safely, and completely. In the final stage of healing, adjusting food quantity, even when consuming healthy foods, becomes just as essential as choosing the right type of food. The body responds not only to what you eat, but to how much and how quickly it enters the digestive system. Although fruits and vegetables are light, cleansing, and energizing, consuming them in excess can still create strain. A recovering digestive system cannot process large volumes of food at once, even when the food does not produce mucus. Overeating leads to fermentation, bloating, increased pressure on the intestinal walls, and reduced absorption efficiency. When digestion slows, the benefits of a mucusless diet diminish, and energy must be redirected toward handling surplus food rather than regeneration. It is crucial to understand that the body's capacity to absorb and eliminate waste does not increase proportionally with food intake. Excess food becomes additional burden, slowing detoxification, especially in individuals with weakened digestion or uncleared colons. Moderation is not a suggestion, but a biological requirement. Eating the right amount allows the digestive tract to operate comfortably, enhancing intestinal function and supporting consistent waste movement. This minimizes gas buildup, reduces irritation of the enteric nervous system, and maintains microbiome stability. When practiced consistently, mindful portioning gives organs the bandwidth they need for repair. The liver, small intestine, and colon function more efficiently when not overloaded. This steadiness supports metabolic balance and helps sustain energy without the sudden highs and lows caused by large meals. It also prevents the accumulation of metabolic byproducts that disrupt pH balance and create sluggishness, often mistaken for nutrient deficiency. The essential insight here is understanding the body's biological limits. A mucusless diet, no matter how ideal, cannot deliver optimal results if intake is not regulated. Recognizing the digestive system's operating threshold is crucial for smooth progression through the healing process. True nourishment occurs only when food is fully digested and eliminated. Practicing moderation alongside awareness of common mistakes creates the foundation for harmonious, sustainable recovery. Knowing the body's limits and natural laws, in this sense, is already half the success in natural healing. The healing journey through the mucusless diet demands deep understanding of the body and the mechanisms that govern it. Changing too fast can provoke strong reactions. Healing crises signify physiological adjustment. An uncleansed colon limits progress. And even healthy foods can burden the system when overconsumed. By recognizing these factors, individuals can navigate the process with confidence, free from unnecessary fear, and sustain meaningful improvements. The body is not resisting, it is cooperating. Understanding this makes healing gentler and more effective. One essential takeaway is that the body requires moderation and gradual transition, not abrupt changes. In daily life, this might look like slowly reducing heavy foods, observing bodily responses, keeping the colon clear, and eating just enough. With small, correct steps, natural recovery unfolds on its own. In your opinion, what discourages people the most when transitioning to a mucusless diet? If you'd like to receive a healing-focused health ebook, leave your information in the form in the description. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video to support the creation of more meaningful content.